everyone will please stand. Mr. Byron, if you'll lead us in the invocation, please, sir.
Let our good Father in and close their eyes. Our Heavenly Father, we coming to you right now, my Father, to say thank you. We thank you, my Father, that you allowed us to see another day, my Father. Then we want to thank you, my Father, for keeping your loving arm of protection around us as we maneuver through the day, my Father. Then, my Father, I want to pray for this meeting that we do it decent and in order, my Father. We ask all this in your daughter's son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Amen.
Brad, if you'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please, sir. Thank you, and thank everyone for coming tonight. We look forward to having a good, productive meeting. We'll start off with Public Works and our chairman, Jeff Doré.
Thank you. I'll now open Public Works. Let the record show that there is a quorum present. Public Works Director Albert John cannot be here tonight, but he told me that the mosquito program is functional, it's working. He's got another machine that the rec department's going to be trained to use, and they will be spraying shortly at regular intervals. But everything else is going the way it's supposed to. So now we go to City Engineer, Mr. Tim Mater.
Thank you, Jeff. I have no action items for Public Works.
Okay, thank you. Street Commissioner, Mr. Wesley Jacobs.
Hello, how y'all doing? I'm okay. Just got a few notes here. The street department is functioning as usual, cutting grass, trees, ditches. Equipment-wise, for the most part, everything is up and running. We have to change the tank on the guzzler truck, which wastewater and I use together. Other than that, everything is pretty smooth. A few notes that I have, you know, we're in that time of the year, we're going to start lifting some of the canopies in the parks. The parks are starting to get overgrown, it's starting to get a little dark, so we're going to start lifting up the tree canopies a little bit, trimming back a little bit. We're not actually cutting trees, we're just going to be raising the canopy a little bit. A few drainage issues that we've had in the past couple months, which has been longer than a few months, but we finally got to resolve what the issues was. So one was West 10th Street from Ross Avenue to the fire training ground. That whole cell right there, the water didn't have anywhere to go. We found on Jacob Avenue from 10th going back south to 9th, they had basically some 8-inch or 10-inch corrugated pipe. I've never seen it. It was like some little 4-inch sections that somebody just dropped in and covered up and called it a culvert, and it was completely blocked up. So we freed that cell up. Right now we're in the process of guzzling and cleaning the pipe, but the water is moving in that area now, so you won't be getting all that water backed up on you. Another problem that we had was on 1st Street from Western to Avenue C. I think it was the Goodwin family on 1st Street. The water didn't have anywhere to go, and it was pushing into their driveway, and then we had to go and figure out, you know, what was the cause. Well, the cause was they didn't have culverts. We don't know if somebody just covered up a ditch over the years. It's just been like that for so long, but with that traffic going into the new mill over there, the trucks going in was pushing the water across. So I got with Mr. Mater, his son Brad. We shot an elevation grade, and we got a plan of attack to go get that water off from in the middle of A and B and get the water back to Western on that side of the cell. And then from Avenue C, we get the water to come back towards Avenue B. So we're freeing up that cell. We have the framing grates for the catch basins, and we're waiting on the pipe. Once the pipe comes in, I'll give you a call, and then we'll get that set. So that 1st Street, we finally will get a little resolution on that water issue over there. And then the third big one was Avenue M under the bridge by Granny's on Hargrave. Hargrave at M, that wholesale over there, the water was backing up in one of the neighbor's yard, kind of flooding them out. So we had to figure out where that water was going. Same case scenario, it was some pipes on Hargrave that was completely clogged up, collapsed, and wasn't allowing the water to get back to that main system on Eastern. Yes, Eastern. So that's the three major drainage issues that we've had. I think we finally got a hold on them. I don't know if any other places like whole neighborhoods that's been flooding, but I think we got that under control. Any questions on any of this, drainage issues, trees, grass? Ms. Marks?
Yes, thank you, Wesley. Want to talk about an issue over on 8th Street and Avenue I. I did speak with Marty Devercel, our administrative ordinance officer. Due to that elevation on 8th and I that was created by Stymist, that has created a great drainage problem, and there are 2 citizens there that are being impacted by that. One, the water is draining into the backyard. He's had to install a sump pump to try to get the water out of his yard. And so also the pipe, and I know that Mr. Crater's going to talk about that also, but that issue is still not resolved. In fact, it's getting worse. So I know y'all did some corrective work. There is a pipe there that goes nowhere. So go ahead.
I'm in the blind because this is the first I'm hearing this. Okay.
So, tomorrow morning, I was meeting with Wesley concerning that issue. We went today. We located both prior to the building and the elevation. The older house that was there had drainage for the gutter system that ran between the 2 properties. The 2 property owners at the time agreed mutually to install drainage there. We did find the drainage on the Stymist side this morning. We attempted to locate that line going to Avenue I, and we were unsuccessful with that. Spoke with Marty, filled him in on what we had. We'll be getting with Wesley in the morning. Marty was notified as well, see if he has a different idea or an approach that we can take that water from Mr. Treadway's property and move it, whether we go to Avenue I, to the existing drainage that's there, or bring him to 8th Street down to the box culvert at the intersection of 8th and I.
Do you know what time that meeting is going to?
Well, I'm gonna get with Wesley when we get in the morning.
Okay.
6:30-ish.
I'd like to be there. Did you run some gradients? I know, I was curious to know, we were going to pull the permit as to why that elevation for those 3 new structures were so high.
I can't answer that.
I can answer to that question.
Yeah, I got you. Chuck, I can answer it too. The
I own
elevation.
the property in Springfield, and that was a requirement for him to build those houses at flood elevation. They tell him what height he has to be, and he has no way around it. That's why I sold it to him.
Okay, so we have a possible solution in the making tomorrow. What time are y'all going to meet up?
Tim and I usually
Okay,
meet.
send me a notice, I want to go and be part of that.
All right, so that's not gonna be on the road, but Tim and I usually meet 7:30, 8-ish in the morning after the crews are gone, and then we touch bases and talk like that. But from what I gathered, I don't think it's an elevation issue. I think it's somebody had a drainage system that we didn't know about.
That's right,
All right,
correct.
so I'll give you a call when we go down the road.
That's good, I'll meet
All
up.
right, Mr. Martin?
Repeat what you just said, talking about pulling a permit because of elevation requirements?
Well, I'm not saying pull a permit, but look at it to see.
Well, you use the
what
term pool.
What
You
the
just,
elevation
okay,
was,
all right,
that created like a levee, and all this water
right,
was running
flowing down,
west
okay,
into
all right.
the neighbor's yard.
Well, That's my expertise right there. Matter of fact, we in the process of, I'm not gonna say it over here in Crowley yet, but doing 140 condos and for the elderly and the veterans. And those are requirements, like Chuck said. You can't get around that. Okay, now Crowley has an elevation limit, which some cities does. Okay, it's called the NIMNY issue, not in my backyard. You're not gonna take your water and flow it to mine. Okay, but yeah, but and oh Lord, sorry. But anyway, you know, I just heard you say when you're gonna pull that's a stigma, and Tim, you know what we do. So, but anyway, I was just, when you mentioned pulling the permit, I'm like,
That was just to take a look at it. We had a question is, what
Okay.
was the elevation in the first place?
I got you. Okay, but all right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll finish by saying, at the meeting next week, we're gonna bring a resolution to the council to get voted on. The mayor and myself have talked, the mayor's talked about it in here. Matter of fact, y'all approved it a couple years ago in order to use some L grant money to purchase a used bucket truck. If that passes and y'all tell me it's okay, Sunday night, Robert and I, our arborist, is driving down to Dallas, and we're gonna meet with the owners at a dealership Monday, and we'll have all the specs. If we find something that we want, we'll bring it back, and then Tuesday, we'll have concrete numbers and everything for y'all to actually vote on. Just needs to let y'all know that the money that's being paid for is some L grant money, so it's not anything. So, other than that, do I need to, Mr. Jeff, do we need to make a motion or anything for that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Just bring it up.
Any other questions?
Dickie might need to know.
Yeah, because it'll go to finance.
Yes, that's part of that 50,000 that we got. The mayor used a portion of it to get the extended warranty on the street sweeper. So we got a remaining balance. And we was talking, matter of fact, for Memorial Day, under the pavilion, I was like, let's just go ahead and bite the bullet and get this stuff done this year at the end of the budget. That way we don't have to worry about it anymore. Anybody else?
That's it?
I want to thank y'all for your department coming and helping the recreation department change out those panels on the fences. It's nice to know that I can put a phone call in and y'all are there. We saved a whole lot of money not having to get the company that put that fence up to come change those panels, so thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right, let me just finish it. I was gonna wait till recreation, but while you said it, I need y'all to find out what company made them panels. Because I think we can use those panels or something similar for that washout that's by the field that I think we can put a retaining wall out of that, because I saw they've been using that. So find me the company that y'all talk to, and then I'll talk to them myself.
We'll call Peter.
All right, Mr. Martin?
Yeah, okay. You just mentioned the $50 million grant. Is that grant obligated? I mean, Lord, I mean, 50, what was it, $50,000 grant? Is that money obligated?
It has to be kind of in a lawn service.
Oh, okay, so basically, okay, I got you, okay. So that's not the MOU saying, okay, you can't use for this, that, and the other. I got you, okay, so as long as y'all in compliance with it, I got you, buddy. Thank you, man, thank you.
Any other questions for Wesley? That's it? Thank you, Wesley. All right. There are no action items tonight. And a discussion item, Mr. Donnie Brackens with West Crowley Cemetery Association would like to address the council about 3 related infrastructure matters adjacent to the West Crowley Cemetery. Mr. Donnie here? Nope. Okay. Well,
Aren't we supposed to have, Brad, you had brought it up, a public hearing? For the cemetery, no? No, we're talking about for the sign. I'm looking on public, there's nothing there. And you brought it up to have the public hearing.
Oh, I think that's next week, yeah.
Okay,
That was in the newspaper.
I just want to make sure we're in line with it. Thank you.
okay. All right, well, with nothing else to come before us, then I will close.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it. Next, Alderman Martin, we have Utility Committee agenda.
Quorum present. We're gonna start off with Tim Mater, wastewater superintendent.
Okay, real quick, 180 Louisiana one-call locate requests. We filed 13 work orders, 4 were after-hour calls. We pulled pumps at Oddfellows, 8th Street, Parkinson and Mill. Those were cleared of the blockages, put back in service. We pulled a pump at 8th Street, had some oil leaking around the motor. It was sent off to the company. We got it back within 3 days. It's back in service, so no issues that we've had since. The bearings for the aerator came in yesterday. We contacted the company to have those put in. We'll have that back online next week, by the end of the week. Thank my guys for being out in the heat and standing knee deep, but part of the job, and we'll do what we can to keep going.
Gotcha.
That's
Brenda.
all I have.
That's it? Any questions?
Questions?
Okay, thank you. You know, while we're still in committee, Tim, if you remember a while back, and other cities does it, it's called, for a short term, it's called hazardous pay, okay? Where, let's face it, these guys here and the Westerly crew, they out there 100-degree heat, okay? I'm pretty sure there's steps to be, with no pun intended, taken where the water breaks or whatever. That's something that we may need to look at, because a lot of times y'all in holes with methane gas or what have you, which is a hazard, okay? So with that being said, maybe down the line we can probably look at doing something like this, you know, especially when they go out after hours or what have you. So just a little FYI for everybody. That way we could take care of the ones that take care of us, because let's face it, with wastewater does, we want that going away without any problems. So, and I mean, you know, when we flush our toilets, so let's be clear, we don't want no problems with it. So, I mean, if they in that have to dig or whatever, at least we can do is take care of them. I don't know, it would be, Tim, I know your budget is stretched to the limit, but maybe that's something that this council can do just to reward you guys for going way on call of duty with this. You know, just a little FYI that we need to look into. And that's it. Anything else to come before utilities? Anybody? We'll go ahead and, I'm sorry? Oh, look, Tim, look, all I saw was Tim. Okay, good enough. City Engineer Tim Mater, I apologize, Tim.
All right, thanks, Tim. Too many Tims.
All right.
On page 12 of my report, if you'll turn to that page, and you'll see a bold letter L in the left margin. The subject is Phase 3 excavation of the East Marsh. And the history on that is we applied for a grant under the Delta Region Authority back in August. The project is estimated at $2.33 million. That particular application would have funded it in full by virtue of DRA at $2 million and Lidacor at the balance, or nearly the balance. We were informed in February that the funding was not approved, but encouraged to reapply in the next cycle. We asked, well, when is the next cycle? They didn't know. Maybe Katie, you might want to explain more detail, but she spoke with the top person in Delta Region Authority, and I think she got a little head start maybe on submitting the application.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So that's going to open very, very soon, and we were encouraged to get that done as quickly as possible. As I understand it, it's not quite the amount that we were hoping to get, but as I spoke with Jonas, he feels like we can piece together some other things.
Yes, it's very not quite. It's half.
anyway, there's some money out there, there's
Yeah.
some things that we need to do, so we do need to move forward and try to get what we can.
Yeah, this phase 3 is part of the DEQ mandated improvements to the wastewater facility to meet the new permit. If you recall, the one thing that really set us off was the ammonia nitrogen limits being reduced to almost nothing. So that's an important leg in the compliance with our permit. So that said, I need you to consider a resolution authorizing the grant application to DRA and the CIF, Community Infrastructure Fund, for wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Okay, Tim,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you a question here, okay? The monies that, how far back did we know that we wasn't gonna get approved for it?
And we were informed in February.
Okay, in February. I'm just asking, okay, being around the state capitol as much as I be and meeting off grounds or what have you, everything was money. This was the fiscal. Everything was money. And I'm just saying, well, it'd be another 2 years. Maybe if things don't roll where it is, maybe we might be able to get our representative chance to, you understand, to bring this up. And I mean, I'm still wondering why it wasn't brought to him, but I mean, it is what it is. But I know for a fact they had some of the cities around the state, they put in, and they got their money. There was, yeah.
So if I may, it was the Delta Regional Authority area that was, I forget exactly how many states.
Right.
And so there were millions of dollars of requests.
Right.
So Chance and our legislative delegation from Washington on down actually signed off on that.
Okay,
And
you
they
did?
wrote letters and they helped us. There were just so many applications
got you.
that ours got pushed to the side.
Okay, so-
So we'll do the same thing again and
Okay,
get them to.
so with that being said, Tim, Kate, one of y'all explain who the Delta and what states it, because when you mention Delta, the first thing come about is the Delta parishes. I mean, when I first, this was years ago when you explained it to us, what was going on with these people. When you, those who know what a Delta parish is, Washington or whatever, Louisiana, all that's in that Delta, that's who I thought it was. I thought it was described for a certain part of the state.
So,
right.
so I've been around long enough that I was in DC when Bill Clinton actually formed
Right.
the Delta Regional Authority.
Right.
And that was, that consisted of states
Right.
that bordered the Mississippi River, if I'm correct. And I don't want to even guess a number, I've forgotten.
Right.
So the real interesting thing is that Acadia Parish is not on the Mississippi River.
Okay.
But we were also included as part of the Delta Regional Authority.
Okay.
So it's not just Louisiana.
I
There
got
are
you.
other
Yeah, that's what I'm
states
saying.
included.
But,
Yeah.
you know, to someone that's familiar, we do business over in the Delta parishes. That's the first thing I thought about. Well, Delta got everything. But I see now so it
It's
goes all
highly
the way.
competitive.
Okay,
Exactly.
gotcha. All right, thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion for the resolution authorizing a grant application to the Delta Regional Authority for DEQ mandated improvements to the wastewater treatment facility, Phase 3, excavation of the East March. Is that what you needed?
I'll go ahead and second that.
Second.
And, okay, you go ahead, since you're a part of that.
Either one,
that.
okay.
All right, it was offered and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay,
That concludes my action items.
okay. Anything else to come before utilities? We're gonna recess.
Thank you, Alderman. Next, we have the Recreation Committee, Chairman Chuck Ashby, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, I appreciate it. We will call Recreation Committee to order. Quorum is present. First, before we get started, I would like to say my apologies for last month to anybody that I may have offended by saying that we were talking about the recreation and the playground set and it being in a park near you to get over it. That came out wrong. I didn't mean get over it because your opinion does matter. Where you live does matter. For us to work as one heart in Crowley, you have to matter. So it's not my decision at the end of the day, it's your decision that we bring in front of the council that makes the right decision for Crowley. So I would like to apologize for saying those words. But we will get started tonight with, I want to introduce someone who is taking over our rec department. Mr. Brian Burrell is not here tonight. He turned in his resignation to take care of his wife, who over the last few months has kind of went down a little bit, but he needed to spend more time at home. So I want to introduce Mr. Mike Aguilar tonight, and I'm going to give him the floor to come up and speak and tell us who he is and all the great things that he's going to bring to the city of Crowley, which I've known Mike for a little while now, and he's a great guy.
First of all, thank you, and it's a pleasure to meet all of you, and I hope to get to know you better. Born and raised in the Grand Prairie, Arlington area, the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Soccer's my background. Played overseas back in the day, but in the soccer, U.S. soccer world, I have a coaching license. It's an A license. The only license higher than that is a professional license. So I want to bring some of those ideas and thoughts to. I'm also a U.S. soccer coaching educator. So around the state, all these travel coaches that get paid, I issue their licenses to them. They have to go through a course through U.S. Soccer, so that's kind of what I do on the side. I eventually ended up in my years of managing indoor soccer facilities in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I attended Bossier Parish Community College where I met my wife and never left. So, and then I ventured off to Minden, Louisiana, where I was Assistant Parks and Rec Director for 6 years. My wife was a HR for the city of Minden. We decided last May, not this recent May, but the previous May, to move down. I was recruited to be the head soccer coach for John Melvin University. Things didn't work. My wife is the office manager for Ray Bork, the mayor of Broussard. So I went full-time with Jamie over at the Broussard Sports Complex as an evening supervisor. But all that in turn, I've learned a lot, and I look forward to here. This is an exciting opportunity. You'll have a great complex. There's some work that needs to be done, some upgrades that need to be done. When I visited with Mr. Chuck and the mayor, some of the ideas I was spewing out, apparently you guys already have been discussing. So I look forward to working with that. There is some grant money out there. I met Peter. I served with Peter on the LRPA executive board back in 23, so that's how I got to know Crowley. So the blessings of moving down here and praying down here tended to work out. I have 2 boys, getting back to the family. One's 14, already 6 foot tall. Going to Edgar Martin, we live in Lafayette, and my other son, the oldest one, is in the National Guard. So the icing on the cake, when his unit got stationed in Lafayette and Abbeville and Bow Bridge, it was a thing, and he applied 3 universities. UL accepted him, and he's going into the ROTC program there, so proud dad. But thank you. Any questions? Oh, sorry. The weekend. We had a tournament this weekend, over 70-plus teams, very well. To my surprise, or not surprise, we had a lot of compliments on the park, on the cleanliness of the park, and how well the staff moved around. I've praised them about it. We had a meeting this morning about it. We'll host another weekend. It's a warm-up weekend to the All-Stars the next weekend, so we'll host that here. It's 70-plus teams again. And then we also, on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we have a American Legion tournament on Miller Field. So it's going to be a busy weekend over there. We have 6 teams that have made the All-Star. We have 3 softball and 3 baseball. They'll be playing here this weekend as well. And then we're getting the schedules. They got them last night, so I haven't got all the information. But I know Scott and some of the other areas. And then obviously the World Series will be in Youngsville. So hopefully we have a team that gets there. But like I said, I'd love to visit with some of you, as some of you I ran into already, but I'd love to visit with you about the ideas. And I'm very impressed with Stephen and Brian at MLK. I'm thrilled that there's a skating night, and believe it or not, we're cleaning up, and we found a disco ball. So I'd love to hang that. I think that adds some atmosphere, but there's a lot of opportunity over there. I did discuss bringing back the adult basketball league and kind of tying March Madness into a 3v3 adult basketball tournament over at MLK. I think it'll go real well. So a lot of ideas, a lot of support here, and I want to thank the other department heads who have stopped by to wish me well and offer any help, and I would like to offer that help in return, so anything you need, just let me know.
Okay, well, I got it.
Deb, he's not inviting you to play in that basketball league.
No,
Oh, no, go ahead, though.
we good, we good.
We can use a coach.
Referee more like it, throw him out the damn game. Listen, I guess a few people knew that you would be here and what have you, and they knew that Brian had left, okay? And so they, matter of fact, I wanted to get with Byron on a few of these, and I just looked at my text, I forgot all about it. They got a few questions, and with all respect to you, this would have been given to Brian, okay? But they didn't know what exactly was going on. Over at the MLK grounds, I have a video right here, and Chuck, I'm about to send it to you. Me and Chief, we looked at it, Byron, I hadn't sent it to you. The water over there, it's like, believe it or not, all we need was a fishing pole, and we can go fishing out there. That's how much water it holds. I got it right here. And this was 3 days after all the rain, okay? I'll send it to you. And in doing so, some of the constituents were talking to do, what is that, the little rubber pellets underneath the swings or what have you, to soften the blows of the kids. Okay, cleaning the, well, just making all of the swings or whatever compatible for the kids. Walking track. Did Brian or anybody discuss that with you?
No, but that's one of the ideas I was looking to discuss
Okay.
and pair with the grant money that's available through LRPA.
Right.
I did work with a vendor today. I was kind of getting my ducks in a row, but I'm working on
Right.
getting 3 quotes. The chips, the wood chips, they have to be treated as a certain kind to not only replace at MLK, because he walked it today and measured it and how much we'd have to order.
Right.
So I'm getting quotes. And then also at the main complex at Levy Park, and then at 8th Street, I think it is,
Right,
and then the
right.
other, so, and at Bicentennial. So I used to be a playground inspector. I let that certification go.
Okay.
I'd love to get that back, by the way.
Okay.
So we have somebody local. But yes, once you get that, now the safety issues have gone, and we're gonna, Mr. Wesley has offered to help out through the month of June so I can get the staff in order.
Okay.
But the plan is 2 days a week to go over there, and then we're gonna weed eat everything, pull
Okay.
that. So that's to clean it up. I want the kids to play.
Okay, well, just to give you a general idea, the walking park is something that the constituents, I mean, I'm pretty sure they called Byron about it, when it's gonna happen, when it's gonna happen. But I just wanna make sure that these things are not, and for a lack of words or what have you, swept under the rug with it. Another thing, you went inside the MLK building, correct?
Yes, sir. It's a nice,
You
it's a
noticed
nice
how
facility.
the front lobby look as far
Yes,
as the
sir.
floors, okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to give props to Mr. Anthony Tebow. He came in and he donated his time and materials to get it like that. But if you look inside the gym, and me and the chief was talking the other day, and I also referred it over to Byron, we have tape on that floor, believe it or not, that's been there for about 30 years, okay? And I'm serious. You know, I remember when that was a hardwood floor, but the hurricane came in and it buckled the floor and they put the concrete in. And I remember the problems that we had with sweating with the concrete, okay? So everybody asked, well, why is it so cold in this gym? And so we turned it off for about 30 minutes and it started slipping and sliding. Now you see, okay? But back then it was the most efficient thing to do. I'm hoping that we can get Mr. Tebow, I know we probably have to put it with bids or what have you, to go ahead and finish up the gym itself. Because the kids are out there every Monday, people are renting the building, and, you know, they talk about doing volleyball or what have you over there, and that's a total different, and you talked about doing the basketball. All that needs to be redone, you know, so I'm just hoping that that's one of the things. And one of the other things, believe it or not, which I told them I don't know, and I'm going to find out tonight, they were questioning, and Chuck, I'm pretty sure they didn't hit you with this. who pays for the lights at the recreation center? Does the city, or is that granted in with CLECO? With the lights being on? Yeah, I'm talking about the actual ballpark lights. Yeah, when you pass there at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, the lights are still on. And I know ain't nobody playing with it, so,
No, so the city of Crowley pays the light bill out there. That's not grandfathered in with CLECO.
okay,
I will tell you that there were quite a few mornings that I passed at, 5 going somewhere.
Exactly.
And the lights were still on.
exactly,
And I sent a text and asked, hey, why are the lights not turned off?
right.
Issues
I got you.
that we've
Okay, well,
had.
we-
So
yeah.
Mike has all of this set up
I
on
got
his
you, I got you,
phone,
I
which he
got you.
has someone under him as well, that
I
it's
got you.
on his phone.
Right.
It's a matter of turn off the lights on field this or field this,
I got
and the
you.
lights are off.
I got you. Okay,
So-
because when that was asked, I told him, look, I have no idea what's what, so I'm glad, okay.
May
All
I,
right. Now, another thing that we had talked about, and I know it's a long shot, putting lights over at the MLK. Okay? At one time, I remember, Chuck, I don't think y'all was on the council when we redone the Miller Field, Miller Stadium. I think, Brad, you was on at the time. The deal was, and it was just, and I'm just saying like it was, to get my vote on getting the remodeling and everything, that we would take some of the lights from over there and put at the MLK building. Okay? Well, apparently, the lights got shipped off to somewhere, and it is what it is. But they would like to go out there, and at one time, we had softball out there during the day, and that went into tonight. We had, believe it or not, we had a professional kickball team out there, and they still asking when we gonna get the lights. Okay, we want to start playing. They got one in Rain, Church Point, I think, different areas. Okay, so lights over there would be fantastic. I mean, even to the point of, like you said, maybe throwing when we have an overflow of teams playing, and over at recreation department, I mean, in South Crowley, maybe might be able to do, let's say if a game get rained out, might send them over there, just to catch up. But just having lights out there, that'll be tremendous. And that's pretty much it, man. And I think Brian turned the lights, because everybody was asking, man, we had a floodlight on that tree. And y'all remember me asking, how in the hell is that tree so important it gets its own light? Okay, me and the chief was talking about it. The lights are perfect, but they just need to be where people can see where they're going. And another thing, I know we had talked about it. I don't know if Brian told you. We need to do a egress and ingress from the Martin Luther King Center. Right now, if you drive into it, you got to back up and go out. We got ample room. Byron, you remember we had talked about this. Chief, we had talked about this as well, where we can put egress and ingress to circle out, where they can drop whoever that is right at the underneath the little canopy and just go out. Because Chief would tell you the other day we had an accident. You remember the little lady trying to back out? So, Wes, okay.
All right. I talked to Brian Cormier
Okay.
this past weekend and asked him that same question. So I was waiting for it to come up, but he needs to get acclimated to
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
going on.
without a doubt, without a doubt.
So we're gonna need permission, one big thing.
All right.
Do we have permission to cut down that oak tree?
Now, okay, I'm glad I was about to bring that up.
Y'all need to vote on that,
Yeah.
because where we can do it, there's a tree right in the way.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna have to figure out where y'all get the funds from to put a base down. We can gravel it at the beginning,
well, yeah, just start it off,
but
yeah.
they got a tree that's right in the way.
Tim Mater, last time we had to move those trees, right? When we done the actual pavement, didn't we have to move those trees? Well, let's cut the sucker down. I mean, we deal with the state later. Wes, if it's in your way, hell, I'll go cut it down. Ain't no big deal. If the tree is in your way from doing this,
No,
I
it's,
thought it's an oak tree, right?
Yeah, but
It's a live oak?
That's what we elected y'all for. Y'all make the decision. If
Well, that's
y'all
what I'm
say
saying.
In order to get the egress in,
Right.
y'all vote on it and let us know. I'll cut the tree down.
Okay,
I
well, that's why
promise
I'm asking Tim. So it's no, you remember at one time, if we cut a tree, we had to plant a tree. I don't know if that's still in effect, because I remember we had a big deal with that. So. Well, they're gonna just have to be -1. Shit, we'll put up another tree somewhere. But, Wes, if you, get with the mayor and Chuck and Byron and, hey, man, let's make it happen. Because like you said, we can put gravel there, keep putting it until the base is solid enough. Because basically, they're not doing anything but driving up and driving out. So I appreciate that. And that's, the wish list, man.
Well, before Mike starts talking, I'm gonna just let you know, him and I has done a whole lot of walkthroughs, and he's making a wish list.
Okay.
All he asks is that when we go to budget, that we remember that right now he's got about $7 in his budget, and he's got about $1 million worth of work that needs to be done.
So let's give him $1 million.
So he needs some help on his budget, because right now there's nothing that he can add on the budget that he has. So I was making light of that, but
Yeah, but Chuck, do you remember many times I said, let's give them what they need? Because that's, recreation, ladies and gentlemen, in case y'all don't know, recreation is the only department that we got that brings money into the city. Okay, when they bring these tournaments or what have you, that's money. All the hotels are filled, all the stores are whatever. So, I mean, if we got to spend $1,000 to make $1 million, let's do it, you know? So whatever you need, I mean, I'm only speaking on my behalf. You got my vote for whatever's needed. So, thank you, buddy.
So, no, thank you. But to address your scheduling issue with the lights, I'm in the process of training them. So as we have the staff trained, so at the end of the night, there's a checkoff, excuse me, there's a checkoff list now. It's not only cleaning up the trash, cleaning the park, locking the gates, but part of that is as soon as the practice ends, or if there's not a practice on there, we shut the lights off.
Okay.
And then 2 reasons for that. It also helps get the people out.
Hey,
They
well,
like to
I was about
talk,
to
and it's
say,
like,
lights
hey,
out.
8:40, 8:45, I'm gonna ask you once, Coach, I'm gonna ask you again, third time I'm shutting the lights off.
Well, there's a saying, I don't want to say it, but it's lights out and the stuff with the A out.
Yes, sir.
You know, you got to go, you
Yes,
can't
sir.
stay here. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, I appreciate that, man.
No, but I appreciate it, and like I said, there's a lot of projects there, we're working on getting the staff. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but there's a certain way you like to do things, and I told the guys, feel free to share your ideas, because there's no thing as a stupid idea. And the same thing here, we're not always gonna agree, but that's y'all's deal, but I wanna move forward. I look at the rec department, and this is kind of my philosophy. If you think about the grocery store back in the day, when you got out, you saw the little guy pushing the carts and getting them in, and then when you went out, here's the cart guy putting the groceries in your car. They're the first ones to meet everybody, and then the last ones to see everybody. So if we can make everybody feel welcome, make everybody feel happy and pleasant, they're gonna go around to their cities and they're going, I wanna go back to Crowley. My other thing is, I think we have on record 40 weeks of activity. I wanna get it to 46, 45 realistically. I think that's possible with other outside entities that aren't totally accessing this. So I feel it's my need to bring more events to the parks. And then once we get some upgrades, and I think some of them pretty quick, we can start bidding on some high school state tournaments. I know we've had one before, but I think that's very plausible because we have the facility that LHSAA is looking for. It's all dirt. Yes, sir, but there's some, I'll like to visit with you about that.
any other questions for Mike? Mike, appreciate you. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Love to have you in Crowley. Thanks. All right, next up on reports is Tim Mater.
Yeah, no action items.
No action items, okay. We have no action items, so we're gonna move on to discussion items, and we're gonna start, and here's how we're gonna work things. We're gonna start with the members of the cash board being here tonight. On here, it says that they want to address the council. They addressed the council last month. I don't want to force them back up here to just address what they've already addressed, but what I do want to allow for tonight is that anybody that come to speak on behalf or in opposition of the playground being at the Levy Park, that you're welcome to come up tonight. Each person will get 3 minutes to speak, and we'll give them an opportunity to address whatever's being spoken about. So, do we have anyone that would love to come up and speak?
Thank you. Before we get started, respectfully, I'd like to say a few words. I'm Jillian Habits. I represent the CASH organization as Vice President and Secretary. And with a master's degree in the study of human movement and safety, coupled with a heart for service, I was personally selected to serve on this board by my late mentor, Rich Hughes, humanitarian. I understand that there have been many opinions shared recently regarding this project, and I'm honored that it is receiving the attention and discussion it deserves. I have often prayed that the people of Crowley would be as passionate about this project as I am, and over the last several weeks, I've witnessed that passion firsthand. I want to raise awareness that this project was never intended to divide us. It was created for inclusivity. It was created for service. It was designed with the utmost care and consideration to accommodate children and individuals with special needs, to be stewards of resources. Above all, it was always meant to be something positive, something that brings our community together and provides joy for families. I can assure you that our board has met extensively with council members and our mayor to discuss this project. I have already witnessed this council working diligently to find solutions that best serve the people of Crowley, and every suggestion will be heard and taken to heart. I have the utmost admiration for those I stand before today, truly. However, the only person in this room who can truly speak to the lifelong challenges of living in a world that lacks accessibility is Ms. Leah Huffpower. So I humbly ask that when she speaks or writes about this project, you listen. Please consider her perspective. Know that she is open-minded, compassionate, and possesses an extraordinary heart. Whatever we do to provide access and opportunities for children, we are helping make her dream come true as well. As you share your opinions today, I pray that you do so with respect and with the needs of our parish in mind, especially the needs of those this project was created to serve. I pray that our words are guided with wisdom and grace so that we may unite and find a solution for this incredible opportunity to serve the more than 1,000 children with disabilities in Acadia Parish. May we remember that this project is not about any one person. It is about ensuring that every child belongs, every family is welcome, and every member of our community has the opportunity to experience the joy of play together. Thank you for collaborating with us, and I look forward to continuing our discussions.
Thank you, Jill. Anybody else look to come up and speak on behalf or in opposition? Either way, your opinion does matter, and I want to make sure that everything is heard. Yep. Mr. Lee, just announce yourself and your address, and then go ahead and speak.
It's Lee Lawrence, and I'm at 219 East 2nd Street. And I want to emphasize everything Jillian has said. This is not in any way in opposition to the program or the need for handicapped kids, but it's just more about the location. And if it turns out that Levy Park is the best location, I'll continue to be a supporter. As Jillian and Leah know, I've been a supporter and a contributor to CASH since its concept was announced. I think at Rotary may have been the first time. And I think it's great for Crowley to have a place for handicapped children. Regardless of where it's located, and I'll go on record to say I'm going to be a proponent, what ultimately is decided. When it was initially proposed for Levy Park, I thought it was a good idea, although I did have some reservations, and they'll recall, I think, that I asked whether one of the less utilized parks might be a better location. The argument for Levy seemed to revolve around the fact that it already had a wheelchair, and of course it's a beautiful, probably the most utilized park in Crowley. I think going back to my Rotary meetings, I think the main reason for the ramp was to get access to the memorial in the park and to the events that happen in the park, which this may begin to compromise some of those events, like the Arts and Crafts Festival and the Easter egg hunt and that sort of thing. I made comments on social media, so that's one reason I wanted to come before the committee and just talk a little bit about it. I really think the ballparks and the recreation center would probably be a better alternative. When I first learned about this, I certainly had not been fully aware. I think it was still in development of the ballparks and recreation area. And having been there, in fact, it's funny because I walk for exercise both at the rec area on that quarter-mile trail or sidewalk, as well as around Levy Park. And so I've had a good opportunity to see it. I think it has the handicapped restrooms that are needed, plenty of parking. On the weekend with their activities, I know that might be a bit of a hassle for kids to deal with the facilities, but they could still enjoy baseball tournaments, pull up in their wheelchairs or whatever. And I think it's good to be there where that regular playground is adjacent, and where I envision it would be in that grassy area near the playground that's already there. There's plenty of parking that could be designated, and I think the city would only probably have to put in a gate to access from maybe some handicapped parking spaces. Levy Park, with its granite memorial to my grandparent, W.W. Doosan, and his brother who founded Crowley, is a beautiful historical park, as we all know, with trees and green space. As I mentioned, the Easter egg hunts, the Rice Festival Arts and Crafts Show, many of other things are there. Parking, while adequate during the week, could become a problem during weekend church services, weddings and funerals and so forth. Presumably, there'd have to be more handicap designated spaces. And I can tell you personally from being a member of the Methodist Church that those handicap spaces are a hassle, because that and the ramp are taking up 2 spaces on Sunday, and on an inclement weather day, it's kind of tough to get in and out unless you can get pretty close. There was mention in response to my social media that perhaps it might be to preserve the green space. We could maybe move the playground, replace the existing playground equipment, put it in that space. And for that, I would really be more strongly opposed to that, because several times a week I'm either walking there or I drive by, and I personally can see how heavily utilized those playground equipment facilities are. And it's a very diversified group that uses them, including a lot of single parents that perhaps on the weekend have opportunities to be with their kids, and I see them there all the time. So what I would say is, let's all agree that we need a handicapped area. I mean, let's just make that decision, and let's let the City Planning Commission perhaps recommend to you all where's the best location for it. Maybe that would complicate things and get it even further, but if the City Planning Commission were to really look at all the parks, look at the expense of maybe putting in handicap ramps, or developing what needs to be done at the ballparks, if that's the decision, then that's a group that should probably be weighing in on it. And I would think they would want to look on the Levy Park question to the Historical Commission to see what the Historical Commission feels about it. And I'm not trying to throw a bunch of red tape out there. I'm just saying this has been a grassroots movement. It's all well-intended. It's a wonderful thing. But, have we kind of gotten the cart before the horse? And I understand we still have some time because the money's not fully raised, and it should be carefully examined and studied. It's been said that with Rich Hughes, if he could express his wishes, he'd want the memorial the Levy Park to be the location. And I was a good friend of Rich, and I know that Rich was dedicated to so many things that could benefit our community. I worked with him very closely on Boys and Girls Club coming to fruition. And I think he'd just be happy to see the playground. I mean, it's something that he was passionate about. And I think with all the discussion about the Levy Park location, again, just my feeling that he would be okay as long as kids could get the maximum enjoyment out of it. So I also think this is a closing comment for all of those who may be opposed or quasi-opposed, as I am, to the Levy Park location. I think a lot of those folks would probably get on board and even more enthusiastically support it if it were in a different place, because there are a lot of affluent folks in that area that have reservations and are in a position to help raise that money. So that's my comments.
Go ahead, Steph.
All right, two questions, okay.
Sure.
Are you for it being at Levy Park or against it?
I'm for it. I would prefer a different location. And I think the ballpark area is a much better location for it. Because a nice grassy area, there's a lot of facilities. One of the other things that had come up is that for ADA purposes, you have to have handicap accessible restrooms. Well, what that would mean in Levy Park is a much larger portalette right across the street
And it
from
would
our
take more
church.
space. It
Right
would
across
take-
from our church, and, I'm not
Yeah.
keen on
Hey,
that.
enough said.
Okay.
Okay, and listen, I'm one of these council members. It behooves me when they told me, man, you've been on this council since 1998. I'm like, oh, okay. But in that time, I learned one thing. Some people say you can't make both sides happy. But you ever thought about doing it in both places? I mean, listen, this council is on record of borrowing money for whatever. And I'm pretty doggone sure that if it's built in both spaces, Cash ain't gonna decide one day we're gonna go take it. You see where I'm going with this? It becomes part of the city's beautification and taking care of the handicapped kids. So with that being said, I mean, listen, I love the idea of it being out in the area where, they got more room to play, but also like the idea of that area, especially with all of the different things that we give at Levy Park. There's a lot of concerts or whatever, and it's easier to take care and look after the kids in that area than it is for kids just that don't know what's going on and God forbid making fun or whatever. So, and I'm only speaking on my behalf. I would love to see let's build two. I mean, that's just me. The city has more capabilities of raising money than just a regular organization. I know for a fact that, I can call on a few people, and they deal with that ADA. They deal with it. I'm thinking I'm calling it right, American Disabilities Act, okay? And just to give you a general idea, Rich Hughes used to be a pain in my you-know-what. But he's responsible, I don't know if y'all know it or not. You see the building that's on Parkinson and First Street? The new building that y'all remember that building before it was new, built it, put the siding and everything on it? That building was falling apart. Chief, you remember that? We came to you, they had stuff flying all over the streets. Look at the building now, and that was Rich. One thing about Rich Hughes, when he bid on something, he didn't let go. And he was a good friend of mine. I'm just saying, whatever I can do to make his dream come true, count me in. Thank you.
Thank you, Step, and thank you, Mr. Lee. We appreciate your opinion, and I think Cash's goal is to have multiple different locations down the road. Tonight's more of finding the first location that best fits the city of Crowley, so thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Nancy Broadhurst, and I reside at 524 East 4th Street in Crowley. I take special interest in this project after having 30 years of fundraising experience, 12 of which I had the pleasure of working with the City of New Orleans Mayor's Office and City Council to spearhead a public-private community foundation whose mission was to raise funds for the revitalization of neighborhood parks and playgrounds. We're all here because we share a fundamental belief that every child Every child deserves the right to play. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to go throughout the city of Crowley with several fellow members of the Historic Planning Commission, of which I'm a member. What we saw were neighborhood playgrounds that were neglected and in deplorable condition, unsafe and underutilized, with the exception of Levy Park. Now, what we're discussing here today is adding inclusive playground equipment at a park in the historic district. Honestly, we're thinking too small, and we need to look at the bigger picture for all children and families of Crowley and the communities they live in. We need a plan using best practices. Thus, I would like to suggest to the mayor, council, and Parks and Recreation Committee, along with the new recreation director, to consider forming an independent playground task force made up of professionals who are experienced in designing and building inclusive playgrounds, along with other valuable contributors such as parents, civic service clubs, and other organizations, special educators, physical therapists, business leaders, and city officials. The strategy of having a task force would be to invest their time into developing a comprehensive neighborhood playground revitalization master plan to include, as Councilmember Step-Martin mentioned, to include wards 1, 2, 3, and 4, and to evaluate the playground needs of the community and research the best inclusive design for all abilities. Outline a realistic budget with a maintenance plan in place. Help manage and design and build and help spearhead fundraising efforts, because often it does take a public-private partnership, because government cannot do it alone. The long-term goal of a neighborhood playground revitalization is to transform our neighborhoods into an inclusive, multi-generational space that fosters active lifestyles, boosts civic pride, and enhances local safety, and so all neighborhoods in our city can enjoy quality facilities and amenities for years to come. Short-term, a more feasible solution to this current request is to add several pieces of handicap accessible equipment to an existing play equipment area, either at the recreation center, where there's already ADA accessible sidewalks, ramps, and bathrooms already in place, so your expenses would be much less, or to add to the existing of Levy Park. Levy Park tends to get, I've got question, why is Levy Park always chosen? And so I really, I don't have that answer. There is a lot of activity already in that park. So I think having it at the recreation department would be a better fit. But to conclude, neighborhood playgrounds are vital as they foster physical health, child development, and social connection. They reduce crime, increase property values, and serve as an essential infrastructure for building community engagement across generations. Thank you for your time, and I hope you would consider a master plan.
I can answer your question why Levy Park was chosen. Because it's the closest one to downtown. It's also, if you look at, you mentioned about a master plan. Crowley, Tim, you remember when we developed that master plan? This was years ago. A guy from Alexandria had done it. Matter of fact, that same guy worked for my company, okay? But it was designed where it would pull the most people and it would benefit the downtown area. And that's the reason. And one of the main talkers at that time, I remember, was Frosto. Whatever. They was all for it. And at the time, we had super foods or what, super whatever. But that's the reason why it was chosen as that.
Yeah, well, again, I'll reiterate, I don't think anyone is against this project. I think everyone's for it. It's the location. And, you know, how can we achieve our goal as quickly as possible and with less expense? And with it being, you know, some equipment, extending the existing equipment at the recreation department, which is already there. You don't want to separate this, you don't want to separate the two. You want the children playing together. You want those that are handicapped, you want them to be able to play with their brothers and sisters.
Well, yeah.
So, you know, the suggestion would be to add a few pieces of equipment to the existing playground.
Can I give you another suggestion where it might start off at? What about the pavilion? No, well, I'm just saying in that vicinity. That way they can enjoy whatever is going on, churches being there, whatever, you know? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You got a lot of
I
places.
have heard of that. I've heard that comment as well.
Right, well, I mean,
But
think
anyway.
about it. I mean, if you're gonna enhance that area, you might as well do it all the way. That way the kids can enjoy it. At least, I would think.
Yeah.
I would-
Well, like Mr. Lawrence, I'm also here to support Cash, and
Right. Well, whoever y'all come up with, I mean,
I really commend their efforts. It's to find the best location.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nancy. It was greatly put. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to speak on it too. I wish it wouldn't have gone on so long. They really put a lot of work into it to be done at Levy Park. I wish, you know, a lot of this stuff would have come to light sooner, because as much work as they all put in, it was really good. The ballparks, in my opinion, is not a really good idea. It's too crowded over there, got a lot going on. The parking's terrible already.
kids can be cruel.
You know, if you must move it, I would suggest maybe look at the depot. I had my heart set on putting a water park
Yeah,
there,
that's-
a splash pad where the
Yeah.
depot's at, where all the grass is at, right in that area.
Right.
But maybe we can do a splash pad and
Yeah, do both.
handicap both in that area. I think it's a great idea to put it somewhere close to the pavilion across the street. It'd be better suited for everybody to see it that visits the city. It'd be very visible when they are going to the ballpark from different out-of-towners, being able to view it right there at the depot. But at the same time, you know, I do feel terrible that, you know, it went this long before, you know, everybody started speaking up, you know, against it or for it. It's terrible because they worked so hard on that project, you know, to have to, you know, it kind of feels like it's been pulled out from under them. And by all means, I don't want them to feel that way. In fact, I would love to work with them, and maybe we can do something at the depot. I think that would be an excellent choice. If they had to move it, I would suggest moving it there. If they decided to move it, I think it'd be better to move it right there, and maybe also implement a splash pad. Richard was all about the kids.
Yeah.
He donated on so many levels. Whether it was
Time
ice
and
skating,
money,
he would
yeah.
show up every night for the whole month.
Yeah.
Skating at MLK, whatever we had, Rich was there. I mean, it was always about the kids. I would definitely love to, you know, work with them and see if we can get that going, if we did have to choose an alternative location. But that's pretty
Chief,
much all.
Can I ask, wouldn't that be their decision where they want to put it at? Why would this council
No.
decide? Huh?
It has to be voted on
Well,
what
I do
location.
understand, but if
and
they
the
make a
peop-
recommendation, I mean, we just vote on the recommendation. I mean,
So-
this council doesn't choose a private life. I mean, what I mean by private life, I mean, anything dealing with the city of Crowley, yes, we have a say on it. But I mean, but their organization that's already done put, like Chief said, the work in, I mean, at least we can do is honor their request. That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be an internal thing?
We'll let that go to legal, but the answer, I mean, simply, if I decided to build a house on your property, just because I decided I wanted to build it on your property, doesn't
Right.
mean that you're gonna let me build it on your property.
I
So, I
do
mean, it
understand.
still has to be voted on.
Right.
And the last thing we want to do is ignore everyone's opinion
I got
where
you.
it's going to be built.
Right.
And the last thing we want them to feel is that we don't want it
Don't
here
care, don't
in
care.
Crowley. We
I got you.
care.
I care,
We
I
just
got
want to make sure that at the end of the day, we choose the best place
I got you.
for it to
I got
be.
you.
And if that doesn't happen to be Levy Park, then it doesn't. But we just want to make sure, and if you want to add anything from legal,
Yeah.
Just in terms of what you were stating, I mean, it's going to be an improvement on public property. So certainly the city council has to be involved and has to give its stamp of approval to what's being done and where it's being done. And make sure that, that it's done properly on that front. So the council certainly has to be involved. I think we also need to look at what obligations the city may have with regards to it in terms of maintenance and future upkeep. So, I think there's a lot of issues that still need to be ironed out, and maybe Cash has already ironed a lot of those out, and we just need to talk about them. But I think in terms of a vote of where to put it, I think Mr. Lee said, we might be putting the cart before the horse, and a vote might be a little premature at this time, but as everyone has said, I don't think anybody here is opposed to the idea of having the park in Crowley. It's just a question of the logistics of it, wherever it may be, at least from my perspective. I don't have an opinion as to where it should or shouldn't be, but certainly we need to dot the i's and cross the t's and make sure we do it correctly. And the city needs to know what they're in for as well moving forward, in terms of whether they're going to be expected to make a financial commitment towards this. Depending on where it is, I'm sure there's going to have to be upgrades to sidewalks to provide handicapped accessibility and parking, as Mr. Lawrence pointed out. So we just need to know, exactly what we're in store for at the end of the day.
How soon do y'all need guidance or whatever from this council? How soon? Are y'all ready? I'm just asking. I'm pretty sure if with y'all being here, that y'all pretty much. I'm sorry? Oh, okay.
I mean, I think when it's all said and done, what I would envision, it would be a cooperative endeavor between Cash and the city. So, it'd be a joint agreement where we both move forward together to get it done, so.
you have the podium.
Okay, I'm Katie Schultz. I live at 526 North Avenue G. And like everyone else here, I'm in support of this all-inclusive playground equipment. When it was presented to the Historic District Commission, of which I am a member, it was promoted as an all-inclusive playground for all the children of Acadia Parish, not just the citizens of Crowley, not just the kids of Crowley. And so like the chief said, like Nancy Broadhurst stated, I think we're thinking a little bit too small with this project. It's supposed to service over 1,000 children, not just the ones that live in Crowley or downtown Crowley. We have the opportunity to bless a lot of families and a lot of children. And thanks to this project, it got me out and about in the city. I don't have children of my own, so I have no specific personal investment in having gone to the individual parks in town and evaluated all the different sites. I actually made my first visit to the rec center very recently and was quite amazed because I have friends from other cities who come here with their children to play ball at our beautiful rec center. And my first thought was, we have a rec center in Crowley? Like, I never had a reason to go there. And I went and I was astounded. It is beautiful, multiple parks, great parking. I can only imagine that it gets a little hectic on the weekends, but I really tried to evaluate it from the standpoint of someone coming in from out of town, which I was able to do because I've never been there before, and bringing their children. And I really was astounded by that and surprised. But part of the reason I wanted to check out all the different locations that we should be considering in this situation is that my sister happens to be the director of Southeast Regional Services for Allied Instructional Services. And that is an organization, a nationwide organization that helps schools and families with children that have special needs. They get called in to help create programs, direct programs for children with needs, visual impairments, autism, handicap-bound children. And so she is specifically a specialist in mobility and orientation and visual rehabilitation. And so I called her. And I sent her photos, and I asked for her non-biased opinion on what is the best for the children that she works with every day. And her opinion was, number one, inclusivity, not segregation, and also potential room for growth. I just said, we're thinking small. We need to put this somewhere where it has room to expand in the future as we raise more funds. Maybe we start out with this amount of equipment. I know Cash has put a lot of research into how they want to start out, but can we grow in the future? Can we add a splash pad? Can we add other pieces of equipment to this playground? And so what she recommended was that if you have existing playground equipment in parks that you want to improve upon, put 2 or 3 pieces in those areas where we can have all-inclusive play for children. But then if you want to build something that you can expand upon and get more and more kids to come, put it somewhere there's an opportunity for growth. So the rec park, based on my observation, seems like a great place. It is set up for recreation. And also the pavilion. We have this beautiful new pavilion that I understand is going to be used for music concerts and churches and all kinds of events, but day to day, I have not seen it used, and I walk in downtown. So why couldn't we put a playground at the depot right across the street or right next to the pavilion? It already has bathroom. It already has a lot of the amenities, as mentioned, that would help make this playground much easier to just kind of plug and play. So I think there are a couple of areas. I don't think anyone is opposed to placing some of this equipment in Levy Park, but it's going to be limited for growth. Why can't we think bigger? Why can't we put this somewhere where we can grow and add as we're able to? Yeah.
Everything that you're saying is 100%, but we got one problem.
Okay.
The kids don't have anywhere to go. So every month that we delay, I call it delaying justification for the kids. Okay, we still have handicapped kids that can't go play in the parks.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go play whether it's at the recreation center or what have you. So, if this was one of our business decisions when it comes, I said, start putting them up now. Give the kids somewhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Start putting them up now. Whatever monies that you got, monies that you need, let's get one of them. And like you said, then we put another on this side.
Well, you do have to have some infrastructure there, though, because my sister stated if you put 2 or 3 pieces, let's say in Levy Park, amongst the playground equipment that's already there, you have to have paths in between those. You have to have a way for these kids to get from piece to piece. So, yep.
So just to interject real quick, Steph, just to let you know where they are. They said earlier we weren't slowing them down, that they had time. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. But they're in the fundraising process at the moment. So they have time to get the funds in place to give us the time that we need to make the decision on where it's going. So we're not holding them up at the process, in their process. They're in the fundraising process right now. So hopefully we can help them steer in a right direction where more people will start helping them fundraise as well. So this is good, having these people out speaking and giving their opinion, and maybe more people jump on board to help do fundraising for them. So we're not slowing them down at the moment.
Eagle just said it. It's going to be ours. It's not going to be cash. When they put it on our property, the city property, it's ours. Cash can't get mad and say, you know what, we don't want nobody on our slides, okay? The city going to have a financial interest in this. I don't care what you say. Just like you said, whether we got to put up the handicap sidewalks or whatever, okay? So if they need us now, okay, to get this started, I'm just saying, we can raise more money as a city than we can as a private entity, okay? We can go to the LMA and, through, Lamont and say, hey, look, we need to borrow X amount of dollars to get such and such, okay? You know, whatever. So that's what I'm saying. If y'all need us now to help y'all facilitate what y'all planning on doing, now's the time to ask this council. Because if y'all got a sheet going around town saying, I need y'all to donate a certain cause, the first thing they're gonna see the city of Crowley into it, they know it's for everybody, okay? I'm just saying. But cash, they're gonna wonder, well, who are y'all, you know? Is the city involved in it? There's a lot, but like I said, when you use a title of a city that give all of the merchants in the city no pause to say, well, you know what, I think, well, I'm donating to the city of Crowley, okay? Because you know yourself, if you got a fundraiser with your organization, chances are they don't know what your organization's about. But when you got the city of Crowley on there, they know it's something dealing with the city. And it's good for a write-off with your taxes as well. So I'm just. Don't wait 6 months down the line because the kids are still waiting. Nobody's doing anything. It's just my opinion.
Anybody else wanna speak?
Hey, how are y'all? Ryan Cormier, 511 Northeastern. As far as the park goes, I'm in favor of it. I don't have any kids. Now, I haven't stepped foot on Levy Park ever since they stopped doing greetings from Levy Park, so it's whatever. I know these people at this 501c3, there's some hardworking people. I know they're not doing any kind of they're not doing it for some kind of political or financial gain. There's some honest people. But one thing I wanted to say, just I've seen this this seems to be a recurring thing. Anytime something important is going on in a district, I've noticed that sometimes the representatives don't show up. Mr. Core, I'm not trying to attack anybody here. I'm just trying to show you all what I've seen. Mr. Core, September 10th, 2022, the Levy Park stop signs. You weren't able to make it to the meeting. I understand life happens, but I wish you guys would come together and say, hey, this is my district, this is important, and I want to speak up for them. Please table this subject until I can make it. Same thing, Mr. Martin, I want to say it was January 17th of 2023, the liquor license for Fat Boys. We weren't able to make it. I wish you would have tabled it, or I wish you had some people table it so you can. Fat Boys, the liquor store on 2nd Street, 324 East 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Yes. It unfortunately burnt down, but you weren't able to make it for a liquor license, and I know a lot of people, wanted you to be there for them.
Yeah, but understand what I'm saying. That's the reason why we have code representatives.
Yes, sir.
Right? I mean, listen, my business take me, I'm one of the ones that I can stay on this council. Most of the people here have businesses in Craftsville.
Yes, sir.
I'm all over the state.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm in 8 different states.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand life happens, and I understand you have places to be, but I just wish you guys would say, hey, you go up to your fellow alderman, possibly the mayor, anybody, and say, hey, please table this so I can properly represent my district. There are a lot of us relying on y'all, and there are a lot of people who are here right now that put in a lot of work to speak. They built up the courage to come over and speak to us. Sometimes it's not easy to talk to you guys. And then when y'all don't show up, it kind of sucks. Mr. Latchley, I think the first meeting for CAB, Citizens Against Blight, they were trying to knock down a lot of houses in your district, and you weren't there. So I wish you should have spoke up and said, hey, table it so I can represent my district. Now here we are for Levy Park, and our mayor's not here. And I've got nothing against the mayor or any of y'all, but why don't we table it? Like, I don't think Chad lives more than a stone's throw away from Levy Park, and I wish he'd be here to hear what we have to say. And sometimes, I'll be honest, y'all, man, I think y'all do this just to avoid losing votes. It's an election year, and y'all don't want to show up when it's crunch time and represent your district because you don't want to piss somebody off. And let's face it, nobody put a shotgun to your head and told you to take this position. You chose to do it, and you need to speak up for your district, and it's just kind of sad. And again, I'm not trying to insult anybody here, but we're not stupid, guys. When y'all don't show up to these meetings and it's something important going on in our district and we work hard and we come here and we speak, we expect to be heard. That's all I have to say. Again, I'm all for the park, and I love this stuff, and I love all my neighbors and all my customers over here in the historic district. But when we come to these meetings, we like to be heard. It's that simple. Thank y'all so much. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Well, I mean, that's why I'm asking. Down the line, I'm pretty sure at y'all meetings, y'all will say, well, we're gonna need the city council to help get this, that, and the other. Let us be at the beginning of it with y'all.
they
Yeah.
will represent you to your meeting.
Yeah.
Now, if one of us don't show, that's on us.
Yeah, we just won't vote for you. That's what I would hope. I'd hope if something important came up and you can't be here, I'm not voting for you.
But what I'm trying to tell you is, that's Levi Parks, and that'd be Brad and
Yeah, thank y'all so much for being here, because y'all are in a tight spot right now. Like, you might upset somebody by saying you're in favor of this park, or you're not in favor of the park. You might lose some votes, but you're doing the job you signed up for, and I thank y'all so much.
well, I tell you what, right now, if them two acts, I don't know how I'm vote, but they got my vote. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, we as a council believe in two things. We run our own district.
Yeah.
Nobody has a right to come in our district and tell us what to do.
No.
But it happens a lot. Right now, this is something that's not, germane to some of the people, but it's germane to all the people. Because everybody knows somebody handicapped. I got a niece that's handicapped.
Yeah.
So I would like to see.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about when y'all don't show up for things that are going on in your district. It's just kind of lame, bro. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you for your time, and hey, I do appreciate you calling me out. And I know I love accountability. Life's about accountability. Anybody else has anything they want to add? I don't want to leave anybody out. Leah?
Oh, that's good.
Sorry, I just wanted to say thank y'all for just hearing us out and us even just having this discussion. We are very open-minded to any location, and yeah, just thank you for your time, and please just come to us with any questions you have, or if you want to be more specific, or, you know, my phone's always on, my door's always open, and yeah, Brad and Sandra, thank y'all so much for meeting with us earlier in the week, and Mr. Jeff taking my phone call as well, and, you know, being a friend. Thank y'all so much. Yeah. And if any other questions, please address us. You could address me now or whatever the situation. So, anybody? Good?
We're gonna schedule.
We've been in full contact.
We've been in
They are-
contact.
Yeah.
I met for 2.5 hours with.
We met with them already on several occasions.
Leah-
We have an open dialogue with them.
I mean, I know you weren't at the meeting that I attended with
Correct.
Randy and Ann for 2.5 hours, but look, I'll share all that information with you as well and bring you up to date.
And I wanted to tell you that I'm very open to what I'd really like before we get all that situated is a location. I just don't, like someone was saying earlier, dotting the T's before the I's. So before we get into all that legal, I would like to get a location down, if that's okay with you. So, yeah.
Sure, that's something we definitely consider, but.
And like we've said earlier, we're not in, like, yes, we could continue fundraising, we can continue all of our efforts. We're not, yes, if I want it done tomorrow, if I could. But
Yes.
that, I've been paralyzed 20 years. I could wait, to have this as beautiful and, I want it done correctly. Jill wants it done correctly.
Yes.
We don't want to upset anyone. We just want to park,
No, we want to help you get there
Yeah.
too as well.
for sure.
Be happy to share all the information I have.
Yeah,
Well,
like I said, we're open.
Leah, we're gonna get together one day this week, and I want to introduce you to the guy that's sitting right behind you.
I hear all about him. I'm
And
pretty pumped.
Mike is he's big on grants, and he had a good conversation with me
Yeah.
earlier this week on a good grant that would benefit y'all tremendously. So I think there's positive things in the work, and I think
I do
tonight
too.
was positive.
I do too.
That we can continue moving forward and letting y'all know that we want you here. We just all want to make sure that we're all happy at the end of the day where
Yes.
it's at. So
I think
thank
we're
y'all
all
for
on
your
the
work.
same page as far as that goes. I think we all understand that we need it. I loved hearing that bigger is better. I'm very much for that. Everyone had me in tears tonight, so I apologize for that. And thanks, Chief, for all the kind words. But yeah,
I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. Okay, you got it. Thank each and every one of you for coming tonight and speaking on the behalf of Cache, because every one of you wanted here. We just need to find the right location, so thank y'all for being here. We'll move on. I didn't think we'd get to the next step. And the last discussion item was hiring an assistant director, which this was put on because at the time, Mike hadn't been introduced to the council, so no one knew that Mike was our new director at the Recreation Department, and Step had asked him to put something on the agenda just for us to speak about. So this is a strike through the agenda. Him and I'll get together to discuss everything going forward, and then y'all can visit. But with no other discussions, we will go ahead and close this committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it. Next, we'll hear from Zoning and Annexation Chairman Sammy Reggie.
Thank you, Madam. I will start. I do have a quorum with Mr. Tim Mater, please.
No action.
Fantastic. I have no action. I have nothing to discuss. Anything for zoning? I will recess.
Thank you, sir. And next, we have Public Safety Chairperson Brad Core.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to open the Public Safety Committee. All members are present. Before we begin, I have an amendment to the agenda to include a new application for a Class A retail and liquor permit for Elements located at 2443 Rice Capital Parkway, and I so move. Do I have a second? I have a second by Alderman Dorey, and I will need a voice vote. Myself, yes. Byron Wildridge? Sammy Reggie? Chuck Ashby? Jeff Dorey? Yes. I guess we will continue when we get our committee member back. We'll have to have a voice vote before.
Hey, Brad, while we're waiting, can I ask a question? And
Sure.
This is going to be on Rice Capital Parkway?
Yes.
What is it exactly?
The business called Elements.
Is it a restaurant or
I'm not
a bar, pool hall? Okay.
Chief, do you know any details? You didn't, you signed for it, but it'll be a new. Alderman Ashby, we have on the, an agenda amendment to the agenda, and we have a voice vote, and you are the last one to, yes. Okay, so we have, okay, now, so we do have everyone in favor to amend the agenda, and we will get to that item when we get to action items. Yes. The address is, let's see, 2443. Yes.
It has, look, what is this?
That's the address of the.
I think they're saying it's in that newer building that they're building right now.
It's gotta be Suite F and G. Yeah, and then we'll get to it when we get to that, that action item. That was just to amend the agenda. So we'll move on to our reports. We'll begin with Chief of Police Troy Abear's report.
Good afternoon. In the month of May, our officers answered 801 calls for the month. They issued 45 traffic violations, and TED violations, they issued 674. They've been kind of busy. We were 6 short. We just hired one, so that leaves us 5 down. We're in the process of interviewing a few more. We also had, we're having trouble with our camera system at the office, and it's approximately 20 years old. 20 years ago, we spent like 17 grand to redo it. Today, that costs us probably, for the same system that they had, if we paid somebody, you're looking at about 70 grand. So we're looking at doing it ourselves, and we could probably get it done for 17 grand, the same amount of money we spent 20 years ago. So we're looking at that now, and hopefully I can give y'all basically exact amount next month. But roughly right around 17 right now. That's us doing it all ourselves because we have to update the wiring. Back then they used the RCA little plug-ins, and now you have the Cat 5, so we have to run it throughout the building. And we're looking at doing that ourselves, so we're gonna save a bunch of money. And that pretty much concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions for Chief? Go ahead, Step.
No, there's not enough to take out of there. I mean, we'll have to see what we have remaining towards the end, but if there's enough, yeah. If not, I will have to ask, you know.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, even though you guys doing the work, I mean,
Yeah, 17 is expensive, but I mean, it's a good system that we're gonna be
oh no, I'm not
implementing.
talking about the price. I'm talking about them. Wouldn't they be doing it on their own time, or will they be doing it on company time?
It'll be on company time.
Oh, okay, we'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it while we're at the office. When we get a few minutes, we'll run a wire here and there until we finally get it all done and then implement the cameras.
I just wanted to make sure everybody get compensated.
Thank you, Step. Any other questions?
Yes,
Alderman Marks?
Chairman.
Alderman Marks.
Chief, what is this weapons offense? Can you explain? Because we're getting a lot of notoriety with Crowley guns and Crowley shootings. So what's happening?
It's actually been going quite well. We reduced our shootings over 50%. It's been going really well. The weapons offenses is something that, like, they caught somebody with a weapon or something. Anything involved.
So what happens when you catch someone? Do you confiscate the weapon, or?
Yes, anytime we take a weapon, it's booked into the evidence, and each one that we book in is sent to the crime lab for ballistics report before we release it.
What's the age group you're confiscating guns?
Oh, man, it's all ages. I mean.
Juvenile?
Some, yes.
What percent?
I mean, if I had to guess, it's probably 35–40% if I had to guess right off. I mean, but that's strictly guessing. I'd have to go put the numbers together. But I mean, you know, it has gotten a lot better in our city compared. You know, we're no longer in the top 10 most dangerous cities, but we're still in the top 5 as poorest cities in the state of Louisiana.
Right.
So it's really remarkable. You know, we're one of the poorest cities in the state of Louisiana, but yet we're not in the top 10 of most dangerous cities. So we're doing something right.
Okay, thank you. I was curious as to, you know, who's getting a hold of these guns and what part of the city or districts is it more prevalent in? Is there a prevalent area?
Yeah, they stealing them out of cars. People put them in their cars. You know, a lot of times they might be even exposed to where they can see them in the car, and they'll bust the window, grab the gun, or sometimes they leave the cars unlocked. Unfortunately, but.
And there's still some drug activity going on along the corridor of Highway 90.
Yeah,
And-
we still have, you know, we've made some
And we
good
see
pops.
police presence, but nothing happens.
Yeah, we have made a good bit of arrests. If you see, we had, let's see. We made 11 arrests on drugs this past month. No, the guys are staying pretty busy. They had some nice drug seizures with some weapons. They're really doing a good job, and you know, we still trying to fight all that, being short-handed. The sheriff's office is helping out too. They got a team that they roll through the city also, as well as other cities. So we're just all working together. You know, we are getting a lot of the shooters picked up. Some of them, well, I say some of them, a lot of them are repeat offenders, unfortunately. We're hoping to put an end to that, finally send them away for good, but courts sometimes, you know, they move slow. unfortunately.
I understand this fella that was on High Chase from Eunice, that he was a repeat offender. And that was the accident on Oddfellow and Parkinson. Where is this individual now?
He's in jail. He was booked by the state police and,
St.
they ha-
Landry.
Yeah, they have him incarcerated. I'm sure it's in St. Landry because that's where it all took place. Yeah, thank God we don't see that kind of violence every day. It's unfortunately come to Crowley, but, thank God nobody was killed, you know.
Is there any way that a roadblock could have been set up on 13 before they got into heavy traffic in Crowley? Did
No,
they not?
by law,
Is that not how they work?
no, you can't, you can't, ideally, yes, you'd want to, pit the car before it come into town, you know. That wasn't our call, and you know, it's hard to go back and second guess what took place or what that officer was thinking, but, you know, the guy was a maniac. He did shoot at him. So I'm sure them getting right up on his bumper was a thought that might have crossed their mind as they coming back, you know, because he could easily have just shot behind him.
Nobody had any spike strips to
No,
stop him?
that stuff happens very fast, and by the time they get to rolling, you know, with the radio and everything, it does create, you know, ideally, yes, you'd want to take him out before he'd come into a populated area. You know, I wish that would have been the case, but, you know, unfortunately, you know, sometimes that stuff happens so fast, and by the time the radios get to transmitting back and forth, it takes a while, you know. But like I said, thank God nobody was hurt. It could have been, it was a very dangerous situation. It's one of the worst wrecks I've seen with debris all over the place.
Absolutely.
I mean, we were so fortunate on so many levels of that.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate your service.
Any other questions for Chief? Okay, our fire chief's getting tired of standing.
It's gonna be quick. I know we had represented a certain city in North Louisiana where they had a situation like that with the strips. They have to make sure that when they put these strips down, that in case there is a blowout, that it doesn't impede in the other lane.
Right.
So, like what Chief was saying, and I think one of the main things that they found, that they wasn't at fault, but the fact of the matter is they would actually have to shut a lane down maybe a mile away to keep, you understand? If they're doing 100 miles, doing 50 miles an hour, and then they get to 100, where you timing off from the time they took at 50 miles an hour to get to this point, and now they're doing 100, so they done pass you up. You see what I'm saying? It was a lot. I can't tell you what happened with the case, but
Yeah, we were very fortunate. He surrendered at the time when he got in a wreck, so, you know, it could have been a very bad situation, you know, where you could have exchanged gunfire back and forth, you know, so we were so fortunate. The good Lord was looking down on our city, I promise.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, we'll move to Fire Chief Luis Romero's report.
Good afternoon, council members. In the month of May, we responded to 56 calls. Our response time went up a little bit from last month and from the previous months. We did have a response time of 10 minutes. They sent us to the wrong location while we was on a call. So that's why the uptick. It was a medical call. Of those 56 calls, we had 4 hazardous conditions, 7 public service, 27 EMS, 1 rescue, 6 fires, 10 good intent, and 1 law enforcement support. Update on the squad truck. They in the process of putting the final features, putting the hydraulic hose reels on, getting the placard, and bolting some more SCBA bottles inside the cabs and all that. Hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're gonna take delivery of it. So, that was part of the grant money that we was able to secure. Any questions? This truck has been on order since April of '24. We took delivery of 2 trucks over a year ago.
And this will be a squad truck.
This is
uh,
gonna be a
step.
squad
It's
truck.
not another,
We took delivery of 2 engines. Any more
Questions?
questions?
thank you, Chief.
Thank you all.
All right, we'll move next to City Inspector Marty DeRussell, who's not present due to a conflict, but I do have his report, which I will read. Under Animal Control, 6 calls for dead animals, 16 calls for loose cats, 14 calls for loose dogs, 1 animal bite investigation, 1 call for wildlife issue, 3 animal cruelty complaints, 13 calls for cat traps, 4 animals seized, 1 animal treated for sickness, injury. Our shelter is still operated at full capacity on the canine side, but we have room in the cat kennel. Volunteers reported 14 hours of service for the month of May, and I highly appreciate that as well. Dogs, 14 were taken in, 9 were reclaimed or rehomed, and 17 are in the shelter. Cats, 25 taken in, 18 reclaimed or rehomed, and 2 are in the shelter. And 1 citation was issued with 2 total charges. Under code enforcement, 30 notices sent for tall grass, with 16 yards cut by the city and 14 on cut list. 6 notices sent for trash and rubbish, 2 notices sent for abandoned junk vehicles, 3 permits secured for demolitions that were owner initiated. There were 8 uninhabited dwelling enforcement issues and 1 dead diseased tree. Flood management provided BFE flood zone information for 3 properties. 28 total permits, including 1 new construction, 4 building, 1 mechanical, 13 electrical, 2 plumbing, 3 demolition, 2 fence, 2 sign, and that will complete the 28. Planning and zoning confirmation provided for 2 properties, and monthly outfall inspections under stormwater management. I also requested from Marty to provide us with an update on the status of the blighted properties that are being have been processed and in the process of being processed. Permits for demolition, repair through blight owners, there are 12. There are 8 properties ready for demo by the city. There are 20 properties in process of blight court, and there are 28 properties waiting on ownership inspection reports to bring to the blight court. That kind of summarizes what the current status is, and he also provided us with a master blight list, which is down to 165 properties that remain, which is a significant reduction from where we were when this effort began. And that completes his information. Under action items next, we have an application for a new 2026 beer and liquor permits for Elements, the business Elements. On behalf of Rebecca Smith, the location is 2443 Rice Capital Parkway, Suites F and G. We have the application. Again, it's for a new permit, for new permits, and it's signed by all the individuals required on behalf of the city, and I so move to approve. We have a second by Alderman Wildridge. Any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. I'm sorry, any opposed? Then motion carries. Thank you. Anything else to come before the Public Safety Committee? Anything from the public? Then we recess.
Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that. Public Buildings, Chairperson Byron Wheelridge.
Public Buildings Committee, Tuesday, January the 9th, 2026 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers. There was a quorum present. On the reports, there was none. On the action items, there was none. Is there any discussion to come before Public Buildings? There being none, we recess, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Byron, appreciate it. Next, we have insurance and personnel. We do have a quorum. There are no reports or action items at this time. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion for insurance and personnel? If not, we recess. Next, we're going to have community and economic development. Chairperson Katie Chasson, and the floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much. The Community and Economic Development Committee will come to order. We do have a quorum present, and we'll start with the reports of things going on within the city. From the City of Crowley Tourism Director, the Crowley Community Development Association and the City of Crowley invite you to attend the Red, White, and Blue event to celebrate America's 250th birthday. That will be held at Crowley's new Urban Park and Pavilion beginning at 11 a.m. on Saturday, July 4th. There will be music all day, ending with a fireworks show at 8:45 p.m. Much appreciation to the Clem and Jane Swear Memorial Fund for sponsoring this. From Crowley Main Street, guests had an opportunity to revisit the 50s and dance to the music provided by Dr. Stephen Cannon at Main Street Sock Hop, held on June 5th at the Urban Park and Pavilion. Planning is in progress for a new event, a wild game cook-off that's scheduled for July 18th at the Urban Park and Pavilion. Wild game cooks are asked to watch the Crowley Main Street website and Facebook page for information on how to sign up for this event. Christmas in July, the Saturday Sidewalk Shopping event will be held on the same day. From the Acadia Parish Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development, United Way of Acadiana's Stuff the Bus 2026 Teacher Supply Drive is going on now through August 6th. Donations for this effort can be dropped off to the Acadia Parish Chamber at the Court Circle or the Acadia Parish Library. June 25th at 5:30 p.m. is business after hours at Lamb Home Health and Hospice. Friday, June 26th at 11 a.m., ribbon cutting at Wildflower Pediatrics. The Crowley Garden Club is in recess until September. From the West Crowley Beautification Committee, Dr. Rezora Proctor notes that they have been diligent about cleaning up from the recent high winds and rain causing trash being blown into the streets, parks, and vacant lots. They are still on task and working to keep Crowley clean, and we appreciate that. The National Association of University Women will host its South Central Sectional Conference on June 18th through the 20th. The Crowley branch will receive a grant for education and literacy to be used in Crowley schools starting in September 2026. A group of youth and children supervised by Dr. Proctor were organized to pick up trash in the Martin Luther King Park as a service project. There is no report from the West Crowley Historic Cultural District Committee. From the City of Crowley Historic Commission, the Historic Commission met on May 13th, 2026. The commission reviewed 2 certificates of appropriateness. One application was approved contingent upon revisions to the proposed storefront window signage, and a second application was approved as submitted. The commission discussed future opportunities for a certified local government grant and agreed to revisit potential projects during the next grant cycle. Members also began discussing possible updates to historic district ordinances and will continue that effort in coordination with the State Historic Preservation Office. Updates are underway to improve the city website's historic district section, including clearer information regarding certificates of appropriateness, application procedures, and signage requirements. In recognition of Historic Preservation Month, the Commission discussed opportunities to highlight historic preservation efforts within the community and to explore collaborative programming for 2027. The next meeting of the Crowley Historic District Commission is scheduled for June 10th, 2026 at 5:30. The Crowley Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, a number of members attended the 50th Regional Conference of the Southwest Region of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated in Grapevine, Texas. The chapter has completed the majority of their community and economic development projects for this sorority cycle and will reconvene in September. There are no action items, and under discussion items, I'm asking Mrs. Jeanette Shepard with Homeland Security and Social Organization to speak to the council.
As Ms. Shepherd comes up, I have a question regarding the fireworks show. Chief Romero, where is that going to be, the fireworks discharged from? Okay, all right, thank you.
Same place that it's been every year, even though the celebration is going to be at the pavilion. To get there. Okay, thank you for that.
Okay. Jeanette Shepard with Homeland Civic and Social Organization. I'm here once again. First of all, I would like to thank you all for your support and partnership what we had in the past, and we're hoping that you will continue to support us. I'm here for the recreational building for the Sunday. The city usually partnership with us and allow us to have the building and the grounds for picnic, beginning at 6 a.m., 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's on the 6th of September. This year we'll be celebrating 24 years. And so we're hoping you continue to get your support.
Ms. Katie, you need a motion?
Is that to
I'm wondering,
co-sponsor?
does that go under public buildings? If
That's, in the past, it have been under the
it has
public
been with public
buildings.
buildings, exactly. So I'm not exactly sure.
That's what I said, we need to call.
Wait, we could,
Okay, okay. So you're requesting use of the Rice Festival,
No, MLK.
MLK, for September 6th.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, we'll just move it, but
Yeah.
So,
Our
we-
event is the 5th and 6th, but the city partnership and allow us to have the building on that Sunday.
the 6th.
The 6th
Yes.
is the day, okay, okay. So I will make a motion that we approve that. Second by Dr. Marks. Okay, I understand. Is there any discussion?
And that will, the motion is to refer it to.
To refer it
full
to the council meeting, and it's very likely that that would go
Under
under
public
public
buildings.
buildings at that time.
Right.
So all those in favor of bringing this up at the council meeting under public building?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
see you.
So, I would think so. I would think so. Yes. She wouldn't have to drop back, no. Of course. Thank you.
Thank you,
With-
Alderwoman Katie
With that,
Chesson.
the committee will recess.
Next, we'll have Revenue and Finance Committee Chairperson Dickie Lachele.
Thank you, Ma'am. The Revenue Finance Committee convenes. We have a quorum present. Under reports, we have none. Under action items, we have none. Any discussion to come before the committee? There being none, the committee recess.
Thank you, everyone. We are done.